Is there anybody particular around the league that you feel like should come into the organization, can make an impact for y'all? Somebody you want to shout out that you?
I mean, there's a dude sitting right next to me, man. You know what I mean? That'd be pretty cool. That'd be pretty cool, no? You don't think so? You don't think so? How you feel about that? What would your take be on coming to Green Bay, man? Oh, it's too many Cowboy fans in the audience. There's too many Cowboy fans. My fault.
All right, listen.
My fault.
I'm in one of them Drewski 360 deals. You feel me? I'm a for lifer.
I like that.
I can't go nowhere.
I like that.
Man, Jerry Jones, we done talked. You know, that's my dog.
Your lips to God's ears, Jordan. Jordan Love's wish had come true, and now after the Micah Parsons trade, Green Bay is 14-1 to win the Super Bowl. That's the 6th shortest odds in the NFL. Only the Eagles have shorter odds to win the NFC. Dan, does Micah make Green Bay the biggest threat to Philly in the NFC?
Absolutely. This team should be in the NFC Championship game, and it will be a disappointment if in this now, let's call it 3-year window, they don't win the Super Bowl. Okay, I'm going to start defensively. This is the best pass rush duo in the NFC right now. You pair Micah and Rashawn Gary, go get the quarterback. 2, they got one of the best young linebackers in the NFL in Edgerrin Cooper. The one flaw on this defense, and really on the football team, was the corner position. They weren't stars. Best way to get corners to play above their skis is to get after the quarterback faster than anybody else. So this is a defense under Jeff Afley, their new defense coordinator last year. As the season went on, they became like a top 5, top 7 defense. They were playing big-time football. Now you get a game wrecker, and I will continue to use that. There's only 6 or 7 of them in the NFL. You get a game wrecker added to that defense. Here we go. Offensively, it's one of the best coached offenses in the league. It's got one of the best young star quarterbacks in the league. And then you have a plethora of offensive firepower. Matthew Golden, their draft pick out of Texas. So this is an offense that's going to score points, and then this guy's going to do what he does best. Go hunt the quarterback. He's going to play from the lead on a consistent basis. And so we are talking, and the one thing I'll say lastly about it when it comes to the Packers' perspective, everyone says Jordan Love turns the football over too much. Dude, be aggressive. If I was Matt LaFleur, we are going to be the most aggressive offense in the NFL, because guess what? If you throw a pick, we traded for that guy and paid him a ton of money to go get the ball back for us. So this is the team that should be in the NFC Championship game now after this move.
Go ahead, Cam.
Cam, do you agree?
Okay, absolutely not, because I don't even think that they're the best team in their division. They're not better than Detroit, even after this Micah Parsons pick. They're not better than Detroit, and you can't say with a straight face that they are. You're not willing to take Detroit Lions over the Green Bay Packers. So for me, yes, are the Green Bay Packers the youngest team or one of the youngest teams in the NFL? Absolutely. Is Micah Parsons still a young player? Absolutely. These are things that you can grow and build upon. But when you're saying they're instant Super Bowl contenders, no, not so fast. Oh, I'm not going for that. Now, one truth that you did say, within the next 3 years, absolutely. You have, all type of combinations of young players and young talent, and you can go out and do whatever you necessarily need to do, but they still have to perform. I'm not looking at Green Bay as a threat to Philly when Green Bay is not even a true threat, or they have to go through Detroit to be a threat to Philly.
Cam, Detroit lost offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator. Their defensive tackle, best defensive tackle, still coming off a pretty significant injury. Their best defensive end, still coming off a pretty significant injury. They lost the best center in football in Frank Ragnow. I mean, I love Detroit. Still a very good football team. But if we went down the roster and we said man for man or unit for unit, who's got the better unit right now? It's going to be the Green Bay Packers. They got a better offensive line right now because of the Ragnow retirement. They have a better defensive line right now because of the addition of Micah. They got a better linebacker group. They got better skill position players in regards to depth. Absolutely. And they got a quarterback that can at worst go throw for throw with Jared Goff, but probably has more firepower.
Dan, how big is that discrepancy, though? Let's just predict wins. How many wins would you predict Green Bay to have versus Detroit?
I think Green Bay gets to 13 wins. I think Green Bay or Detroit is probably around 11. So Green Bay 13, Detroit around 11. I cannot sit and rave about Ben Johnson over the last 4 or 5 years and say he's the best offensive mind in football when it came to the offensive coordinator position and think that there's not going to be a schematic step back in Detroit.
Hold on. I'm not saying that you're wrong because I think Green Bay has that kind of potential with Romeo, with Arthur Romeo Dobbs, with Josh Jacobs as your running back. You know, you got your receivers, you got Kraft at the tight end spot, and Jordan Love does need to show us what he can do in big moments because we have no questions about his talent. We have a question as to whether or not he's going to show up when it really, really counts. That's the question about Jordan Love. But we know that the brother's got mad skills, no question. So because of that, there is the possibility. But where I'm not siding with Cam definitively acting like there's no way that Green Bay could be in that position, but he does have a point. Let's look at the Detroit Lions here. I mean, respectfully, Dan Orlovsky, I would tell you to watch your damn mouth. I mean, let's look at this right here. This is Jared Goff. We know what kind of year he had, all right, even though it wasn't the same in the postseason, right? I mean, 2,000-yard rushes in Gibbs and Montgomery.
Yep.
2,000 yards receivers in Jameson Williams and Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, Laporta's coming back. I mean, he's your tight end. You look at the weapons that they have, and you telling me because Ben Johnson is gone, all of a sudden they're going to fall off the map? I'm not sure about that, Dan.
I never said they were going to fall off the map.
No, but what I'm saying is you're acting like, excuse me, Green Bay is definitively better. I don't know that.
Dan,
they got something to prove. They didn't have this kind of offense last year.
Dan, are you
Do you guys
saying
know how good Micah Parsons is?
Yes, but are you saying more that Detroit took a step back or that Green Bay's taking a step up with Micah Parsons when you're talking about them jumping past the Lions?
It's both. Detroit has taken a step back this offseason because of some of the departures. Now Green Bay has added one of the guys who's been in the MVP conversation throughout the first 4 years of his career.
Because you had 13 dudes on IR. Let's get that out the way.
Detroit.
So, yeah, so
Sure.
you basically took a step back before the playoffs began. So you got that going on. So as far as I'm concerned, one argument could be made, they might take a step up because they had the entire offseason to retool, get themselves ready, and get healthy. That's number one. Number two, I'm going to go back to the weapons. 2,000-yard receivers, 2,000-yard running back, Laporta at the tight end spot, and you're giving me Ben Johnson as the reason we should be concerned.
Do you know how
the man
deep
is good.
Green Bay is?
Excuse me. Do you know how deep and good Detroit is?
Detroit does
Green
not
Bay
have...
lost how much? Green Bay lost 6 games last year.
Yes.
All right? We ain't counting the last game of the regular season, which is throwaway. What was the 3 games to?
They lost the first game of the year to
No, they lost twice. To who?
Detroit.
And who else?
Yeah.
In Minnesota.
In Minnesota.
Okay? So the point that I'm trying to make to you is that, again, you've got Detroit, who's loaded with weapons, who can take them. I can't
Guys, we got 90 seconds. Let's let Cam get in here.
I listened to you. What you getting all
Cam, do you want to
grumbling
get in here or
for?
you want to just let them go at it?
Go ahead, Cam.
Man, Steven, they're doing my job. You dig what I'm saying? I'm not denying that Green Bay potentially got better, but they're not in contention with the Eagles. Not yet. They got to go through Detroit twice to potentially have potential home field advantage.
Cam,
but when you
Cam,
go,
you
when
just
you go
said
roster
yesterday,
to roster,
you just said
when you go-
yesterday on our show that you didn't think Jalen Hurts was great. You said he's good to great. So now they can't.
No. Don't say that. Don't say
Here we
that.
go.
Don't say that, my man. I did not say that.
Inside.
I did not say
on
that. I said
Instagram.
he has to. I said he has to go from good to great. Nick Foles won a Super Bowl, so I know Jalen Hurts is not satisfied with just one Super Bowl, so he has to prove. That's what I said. I never said that he was not good or great.
No, that's what I said. You said he's good, but he's got to go to great. That's exactly what I just said.
Okay. Now, to my point, Dan, come on back in here.
Yes, sir.
What I'm saying is when you're comparing the excitement to the Green Bay Packers, I would even rave about the excitement by having healthy players for Detroit. The fact that Detroit was even in contention with that many people injured says a lot. And if anybody knows on this mic who will the scheme change? A tad. Defensively, will the scheme change? Just a tad. When you make changes to the coaching staff, you don't alter and falter too much things. So it's going to be within the wheelhouse of what Jared Goff can do, of what Amon-Ra St. Brown can do, what Jahmyr Gibbs can do, what it's all these things, and as well as what is your defense good at. That's what the schematic is going to be. Don't matter who's calling the defense or who's calling the offense.
The Philadelphia Eagles just won the Super Bowl last year. The year before, they went through coordinator changes and looked like a shell of themselves. They're relatively the same players.
Welcome back to First Take, the news everyone is talking about. The Cowboys traded 4-time Pro Bowl edge rusher Micah Parsons to the Packers yesterday in a shocker. Here is Dak Monday remaining confident Micah would be on the field for the Cowboys Week 1.
I've got confidence. I've told y'all that way back when. And I'm just going off of experience, honestly. No different than mine. So I've got confidence in that. Just hoping, which I know he is, he's ready to play.
All right. Is this the beginning of the end of the Dak era in Dallas, Cam?
I think if I'm Daquavius Prescott, I'm looking at this situation in a very much different light because, number one, if you are willing to talk to teams for your superstars, what does that mean for me? All right? And there's not a team that has more leverage than the Dallas Cowboys with having these picks that they can use at their disposal to acquire different talent. So I'm looking at it in a way where, hey, well, Jerry has openly said that he's not looking to consider trading Micah Parsons. So much so that everybody in the locker room didn't think that this was even possible. Well, now what do you say to your superstars? What do you say to Dak Prescott more than anything? But what do you say to CD? What do you say to everybody else that, hey, everybody has value and everybody has a price. And if that price is not worth me, then I can get what that value is from somebody else. And that's what it, means for Dak.
Dan, what do you think it means for Dak? Is that era over?
This is the beginning of the end for Dak Prescott. Yes. Honestly, I feel bad for Dak Prescott in a way because of the circus that we have seen play out in front of us. Here's the reality numbers-wise. If I'm accurate, Dak Prescott's cap hit next year is at $75 million. In 2027, he's at $68 million, and then 68. So while you sit there and go, them moving on from Micah Parsons is in many ways, football-wise, making your football team a lesser unit and therefore less competitive. But there's a financial reality of if they trade him, what would be the cap hit and how much can they get back in regards to Dak Prescott? There's a no-trade clause, I believe, still that he has to sign off for. So, because, and this is why, Cam, as much, when you say Dallas won the trade, the only way that Dallas truly wins this trade is if they use what they got to go start a new run, a real new run. And the only way that happens is a new young quarterback. Because the financial commitment that they have to Dak and CD is what it is. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. It is what it is. And so the only way to do that is to go get a new, young, cheap quarterback that is a superstar. And everyone's going to go Arch Manning. You ain't getting him at 30, where your pick is going to be, or at 28. And so it feels that way, football sense-wise, but there's a salary and numbers-wise that you just sit there and go, they are just in a very, very financially tough situation in the next 2 or 3 seasons.
Go ahead, Cam. I'll let you go.
I'll say something real quick. And it's funny. Yeah, it's funny how history, repeats itself. We've seen this happen for both franchises. The Dallas Cowboys with the Herschel Walker trade, right? And then you have the Green Bay situation where they acquire a guy like Reggie White, right? I think when you say who really won, only time will tell realistically on both sides here. So when I'm looking at a Dallas situation, you can pretty much get, worst case scenario, you can get a new quarterback because what are you willing to offer him? You can offer up to 4 draft picks to get a franchise quarterback with that situation. And that's why I will be fearful if I'm Dak Prescott, right? Because if you do not play well, then you're pretty much going to be disposable for anybody else to be acquired for Dallas.
I just want to say to America, I think this conversation is very, very cute. I really, really do. It really, really is. It touches me. It really, really does. What Dak era? What era?
No, don't be.
What era? Did we just not, I'm sorry, Dan, did you just not sit on national television and say that Micah Parsons was the best player in the franchise?
Oh, he was.
Yeah, he was the best player, right? So he was there over the last 4 or 5 years, right? Last 4 years. He wasn't even the best player of the team. I know that he got the highest salary. You understand? I mean, do you know, Cam, that the first 4 years of Dak Prescott's career, the brother didn't miss a damn game. and made close to $5 million. But since that time, he's missed nearly 40% of his games, and he's collected over $260 million. This is what we're talking about with Dak Prescott here. It takes, and you would know, sir, Cam, because you know you played in the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? Y'all had the #1 seed, right? Correct me if my math, because I want to make sure my math is mathing, all right? I just want to make sure I'm clear. Don't you have to win a divisional playoff game and a conference championship game to get to the Super Bowl? That's 2, right?
Yes, sir.
And if you're a wild card team, ain't it 3?
Yes, sir.
Before to get to the Super Bowl, right? This brother is entering his 10th year. He got a total of 2 playoff wins. Dak Prescott era? What era? It's the Jerry Jones era. Let me tell you why it's the Jerry Jones era right here, okay? And I know we got to get ready to go to break, but damn it to the producers, hold on. I got something to say. Now, I got some numbers here, right? Do y'all know, Dallas is worth $13 billion, right? Yes. $2.5 billion more than the second place team, the Los Angeles Rams, right? The Cowboys are the NFL's most valuable team for the 19th straight year. Oh, by the way, they collected $800 million in purely local revenue just last year. Did you know that? It's true.
I did not.
This is the truth, right? Oh, by the way, estimated revenue, $1.2 billion in 2024, almost $500 million more than any other team. And oh, by the way, last but not least, operating income of $630 million. Dallas made more in profits than 19 teams made in total revenue last year. This is who we talking about. So if it ain't Micah, then it's Jerry. What? Dak Prescott era. What era? What is it? You tell me I just gave you facts.
Okay.
I gave you facts.
All right.
Okay. Now he's 30 games over 500 as a starting quarterback.
That's an error.
During the regular season.
There's an error
During
to
the
that.
regular season. 2 playoff victories, though. I'm sorry.
We gotta
Is
go.
it just me?
So, Dan,
Is
you're
it just
saying
me?
it's the beginning of the end of the Dak era, and Stephen A. still waiting for the Dak era to start.
Come on now.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Just
I mean,
want to
they
make
won,
sure
they
we're all
won as
clear.
many games as anybody in the regular season.
Yeah,
for 3 years.
you know what? Yeah,
The
hold on.
regular season award?
Molly,
Is
let
that
me hand,
what we're doing now?
let me hand Molly, right?
I know.
Yeah, the
That's what
Dallas
we're doing
Cowboys
now.
are going to be a threat. There's only about 7 or 8
In the
teams better
regular
than them.
season. All right, we got to leave it there.